almost 2 months ago, Israel halted all humanitarian aid supply into Gaza. The International Court of Justice in The Hague is now holding public hearings to examine Israel's obligation to facilitate humanitarian aid to Palestinians in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. Earlier, Israel presented a written statement in its defense, while South Africa has now also presented its oral submission. Watching all these developments for us is SABC News correspondent William Denselow, live to us once again from Brussels in Belgium. William, great to see you. Of course, there's a lot of anticipation to see how all this goes. South Africa using 3 speakers to really continue their call for a cessation of hostilities in places where Israel is an occupying power.
That's absolutely right. We saw that South Africa's speakers wrapped up a short while ago. One of the representatives representing the president accused Israel of blindly ignoring its obligations under international law. We also heard from Jamie Hendricks, a legal advisor on international law representing South Africa, who really laid out several things that he wants to see, not just from Israel, but the rest of the international community as well. Well, first of all, looking at Israel, he accused them of systematically brutalizing the Palestinian people, saying that the only certainty for the Palestinians is that tomorrow will be worse than today. When it comes to Israel's obligations, he said that they must cease their wrongful acts, as he put it. He called for reparations. He said that they must comply with their international obligations as an occupying state, which includes providing adequate food, medicine, water for the Palestinian people. Also saying that they should and must reverse their decisions to block their support for UNRWA and other UN agencies. When it comes to the United Nations, well, Mr. Hendricks called for the United Nations to demand that Israel remove the barriers imposed on them. There was also a message to other nations around the world, first of all calling them, saying that it's their duty to step up and call Israel's acts as unlawful and to stop providing them with arms. The message from South Africa is that the Palestinians are looking to the world, looking to the ICJ for help, and that they must answer their call. Of course, as you rightly mentioned, there's also been a strong rebuttal we're hearing from Israel, even though we're not going to hear oral arguments from them directly at the UN's top court in The Hague.
Yeah, we've heard, the third speaker, Mr. Hendricks, who you've just quoted there, also speaking, or rather echoing the sentiments of the UN Secretary General, essentially pointing to the fact that, he feels that the world has failed Palestinians. It was also interesting to hear how South Africa has framed Israel's decision here, saying it is calculated and deliberate.
Very much a nod and a reference to South Africa's other efforts at the same court, the International Court of Justice. Of course, South Africa has brought the case to the ICJ, accusing Israel of genocide. Now, that is a separate, concurrent event taking place at the top UN court. That's a process that will take a matter of years. So that process is very much rolling on slowly in the background. But while that process is going on in the last 12, 16 months or so, we've seen other sidebar events, such as in recent months, we've seen the court take up smaller cases looking at the same conflict, the same wider issues, such as a few months back, calls for Israel to reopen the Rafah crossing. This hearing that's taking place this week in The Hague focused purely on Israel's decision to stop support for UNRWA and that blockage, as you cited, of international aid into Gaza. Now, Israel's response is crystal clear. We've heard from the country's foreign minister. They accuse the ICJ of being abused, of becoming a political tool to essentially deny Israel's right to self-defense.
William Denselow, live to us there from Brussels in Belgium. As always, William, for now, thanks very much indeed. We'll continue, of course, watching those hearings as they unfold throughout the course of the week.